Hey, hopefully people can hear me okay. I'm experimenting with a different microphone setup. Just waiting for more people to show up. Yeah, can I be heard okay? Yeah, it's getting warmed up here waiting for people to show up. Yeah, Blast Boy is here. So we got either 3 or 2 people in. Yeah, to whoever's there, just hang tight. I'm just waiting for 1 or 2 more people to show up. Looks like the picture is good. Hopefully my mic levels are okay. Yeah, hopefully the picture looks fine, because I don't think the filters of this game look very good. Especially the... Oh. This is actually my first time playing this. The plus version. I have beaten the story mode of the original version. But I didn't realize you could play as Mighty and Ray. There clears my question as to what the blonde hedgehog's name is. I didn't recognize him. I know Mighty. I know of him. Hopefully my levels are coming in okay. Okay, and Bradley is here. Hello, Bradley. Bradley and Blast Boy. I guess I'm gonna get started here. Yeah, just let me know if my levels are fun. Yeah, so the plan, I'll be doing this for about 2 hours. Hello, Jiren. I'll be doing this for about 2 hours. I'll dedicate the first hour to Sonic Mania Plus, and then the second one to Mega Man X5. We'll see how far I get there. So I'm not sure when this came out, although I'm sure it's pretty recent. I had a few extra. Actually, yeah. Before I begin, am I being heard? Okay. Yeah, the sound levels are it. Not getting any response on the sound levels here. Yo, Grant has joined us. Grant says, now when you call me Grant, it will match my username. You mean it didn't before? Yeah, are the sound levels balanced before I continue yakking? Sounded pretty good. If only other people could give their opinions. Alright, I guess I'll continue with the yakking. Balance between the microphone and the game is okay. I'll take that. Maybe I'll make the game a little bit lower. Okay. So, I had a few extra Xbox points that have been sitting here for a few months, and I learned that this game came out recently, so I kind of figured, you know, what... And that's about as far as it goes. This is actually my first time trying it. I installed it a few days ago. But we'll see what Mania mode. We'll see what Encore mode has to offer. I know that this game. I know this version had new characters. I wasn't sure who they were, but this assured me that it's Mighty and Ray, who I don't recognize Ray at all. Encore mode has to offer. So we'll do this for the next hour, and then Mega Man X5 after that. Riley says I'm quieter than he'd like, but you can still hear me. Okay. I actually raised the volume a little bit. Grant says he usually goes under cardboard walk, but that computer is sorry to hear that. I hope you, either get a solution or what have you. Okay, so we're in... This didn't let me choose my character, and we're in Angel Island. So that's kind of neat. I guess we're going to do a remix of Angel Island. Are there new levels being added? I'm not sure about this. But this seems like a very nice update of Angel Island. Grant says if those aren't some deviant ass art looking ass mother. I know that Mighty is from some older material. And I maybe Ray it. That's it? That's the entire level? Well, that's kind of anticlimactic. Oh, he's an imposter, okay. That was a fake out. Grant says these new characters look like clone Sonic game leads. I mean, I understand the gag you were going for. Like I said, Ray and Mighty are older characters. I'm just not entirely from. They're definitely more obscure characters. Where the hell do I go? Let's try switch. Okay, you can switch to Ray, okay. And what can he do? Not sure how I did that. Last Boy says use Ray to fly up. So how come I'm only... Grant says, can you break the ground? I actually tried that and no. Okay, so sometimes I can fly down and sometimes I can fly up. How does this work? How? Oh, okay. It's like Super Mario World. Okay. Alright. That's neat. And Sonic died off screen. Hopefully we're getting a decent connection. I'm seeing a little bit of bottlenecking. I know that I've had issues with streaming Xbox in the past. This seems to be about as decent as I can make it look. And now the previous screen looks really bad now. So that was it for Angel Island. I wonder if we're gonna get new levels. But we're back in Green Hill, okay. So Blast Boy, crap. I take it that you're our Sonic guru. What is Ray the Flying Squirrel from? I barely recognize this character. I know that Mighty, I think Mighty's from Knuckles Chaotix, but I don't recognize... I didn't know Ray's name until today. Grant says get a pogo stick. I think I'm good with the flying capabilities. Grant says he's an Archie character. Okay. My major experience with the Sonic Archie comics is actually the Mega Man crossovers. I have a few of those. So maybe I might have to double check them. And this level seems mostly the same from the older version. So what is the extra $5 going toward? The palette's a little different. Grant says, no, I'm asking, is he from Arches? You know, I'm not entrenched in the Sonic lore, so I don't know. He looks like he could be from Arches. Okay, we got a response here. Blast Boy says, Ray and Mighty the Armadillo come from a Japanese exclusive arcade machine from the 90s that was also Mighty's first experience. Oh, okay. I thought Mighty was originally from Knuckles Chaotix. I didn't know that. And I wouldn't mind Knuckles Chaotix getting a re-release. That game is, crap. That's it? I only get 2 lives? Wow. Wow. So that's what makes it the Encore mode, okay. Yeah, I did not know that. I honestly thought Mighty first appeared in Knuckles Chaotix. Grant says, Blast Boy, isn't there an actual and echidna genocide in the Archie comics? I believe it. I mean, the Sonic Adventure games, they go all into, well, especially the first Sonic Adventure. Actually, it might just be the first Sonic Adventure. They go into the whole spiel about Knuckles' society. Okay, so I guess the second life is your buddy is how it works. By the way, there's some construction work going on outside, so I hope that it's not picking up on microphone. Some of these construction workers are really loud and obnoxious. And they're very inconsiderate drivers, too. Grant says I'm not being crass, it's true. I mean, sometimes Grant is being crass. But sometimes he speaks the truth. Sometimes he's so sarcastic you have to read it twice. Grant says he learned on Goosebud's podcast. Is that the podcast where they talk about Goosebumps? Because I'm pretty sure one of you, it was probably Grant, recommended that to me, and I just did not get around to that. I'm gonna make this a bit smaller so I can see the preview window. Okay, it looks like the stream is a few seconds behind my actual playing. It looks like there's a 7-second delay here. I don't know if you can hear the music, but this is an excellent remix of the Green Hill theme. Probably pay closer attention to the game. Yeah, this game just has an amazing soundtrack. There is a few messages that I cannot read at the moment. I got an H, or is that an M emblem? I'm having a hard time reading it. Let's see what people have to say here. Okay, a few messages here. Ryan, hello Ryan. I had a hard time logging in on Discord. I was gonna advertise it on Discord. I'm gonna try to do this today. One on August the 5th and one on August the 12th, my birthday. I can't make any promises, but that's my current strategy. Grant says that on the Goosebuds podcast, they dropped some dank disses on jovial Bob Stein. Is it Bob Stein? Well, the thing with R.L. Stein, I don't know if it's ever been proven, but it's highly suspected that he is ghostwriters. And comparing him to another Scholastic author, Kay Applegate, she is ghostwriters on Animorphs. I mean, she admitted it, and it's it's whatever. I'm not sure if they were used for Goosebumps. I'm not even sure if those are what the disses were, but I have to say that literary analysis of Goosebumps, it does sound interesting to me. Blast Boy says Mighty is a prototype design of Sonic that was used in a few games. Okay, see, my understanding of Mighty, to me, he is just a character who his trademark is that he's an obscure Sonic character, and that's kind of all there is to him. Well, that wasn't smart. So besides the palette being darker, are there any other major differences in this Encore mode? Because some new levels would be interesting. I felt confused and teased by that first stage. I do wonder if we'll go back to Angel Island. I'm not sure if those are all the same old egg baddies from last time. Okay, that preview screen doesn't look so good. Ryan says, pimped you out, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've tried sharing some of your videos around in some of my groups. Not sure if you gotten any new views lately. But yeah, if you get some views from... I might have been partially responsible for that. Hopefully it's good views and not bad viewers. Whoa, the game is going very fast on the preview screen. Oh no, that's not good. This is probably my least favorite part from the original. Running out of time here. Let's get some air. Even from the original chemical plant, that's probably my least favorite part in that stage. I find it very easy to die there. Okay, Grant says... the One Ring Rodeo is the go-to boss strategy with all. That's a funny way to put it, the One Ring Rodeo. And Ryan says he appreciates any support. What can Mighty do? Okay, that answered my question. So he's got a stomp. That's cool. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah, I noticed your recent post, Ryan, when you said that you got, I think you got the elite number of subscribers, so that's good. And yeah, it is cool that you can swap between the two of them, although I don't understand entirely how it works. I think they have to make eye contact, because you hear that, if you hear that, it means that I can't swap at that moment. That was a pretty quick run of the chemical plant. Grant says it's those 90s cherry Coke can colors. I love that design. That's a cool design. You just gotta do the One Ring Rodeo. Why did I get a cool bonus? I didn't think that was very cool. Now we got the cool remix for stage 2. Grant says that doofy ding when you switch characters. Ryan says he hasn't played Sonic Mania yet. I think you would enjoy it. If, I mean, my favorite Sonic games are Sonic 3, Sonic Knuckles, and Sonic CD. So these games are very much up my alley. What was the point of that? So the hard blue water hurts you, but not the other stuff, and I don't get it. Grant says that the 90s Coke can was more punk than Sid Vicious. It's hard to argue. That design was very much of its time. Rally says, don't forget the 90s Doritos. That was a pretty cool design. Grant said, did Sonic invent speedrunning or was that Metroid? I mean, it's really hard to debate. I wouldn't say that it invented it, but Metroid certainly popularized speedrunning with trying to get to the Samus ending when she takes her suit off. That's what I'd say. I'd say from my perception, Metroid definitely popularized that. I don't know how far back the Sonic speedrunning community goes. But I would say that the Mega Man and the Metroid ones are pretty old. To my knowledge, the Metroid one is the oldest. Alright, that drop Mighty does is very cool. Gonna have to pause and read what you guys say. Blast Boy says, if Mighty has Coke colors, does Sonic have Pepsi colors? If so, that would mean he's Pepsi Man. If you think about it, both are blue and run, but that's just a theory. A game theory. I never thought of any of that. The internet loves Pepsi, man, that's for sure. Grant says, George Lucas digitally altered Darth Maul's face to say Cherry Coke in the special edition release. Why would he do that? Company. I wouldn't want to incur their wrath. Where the hell do I go? I guess I was going backwards the whole time. Frankly, with all the bouncing, this layout confuses me. Durant says, remember when Cherry Coke cameos in the new Solo movie? No. He did not see that. Normally, I mean, I guess this makes me a tool, but I wanted to see every Star Wars movie in the theater. I did not get to see Solo, as to the fact that I did not have money at the time. And when I did, it was out of theaters because it flopped horribly. So I can't say I know anything about Solo. But I mean, frankly, it just did not look very appealing to me. As much as people take a dump on the new sequel trilogy, I am kind of more interested in seeing where Star Wars goes than prequel ideas that I just did not ask for. Blast Boy says, I liked Pepsi Man a literal week before people started to make it cool. I'm not sure when that would be. Bradley, he had his thumb under that fad. Did he? I'm not sure. I'm not sure when you made the video about Pepsi Man, Bradley. Uh-oh. I guess I'm gonna bounce up here. There we go. Spice Guy, not Terry Crews would have been a great Lando. Hard to argue with that. Okay, so this is a cool boss battle here. This is a reference to 2013 video. Put up the search tags for that so that people can look that up. I don't think you can link videos on the chat. Okay, so this boss battle is a reference to Puyo Puyo. It's also been released in the US as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine and Kirby's Avalanche. Nice little in-joke reference to old farts like me. Mean Bean Machine, yeah. Yeah, Mean Bean Machine or Puyo Puyo. Yeah, speaking of Bradley stuff, because Bradley's a lot better at keeping up on actual video production than me, I believe Bradley's gonna have a new video out soon. If I'm not mistaken. Mean Machine. There's that. Actually not doing very good here. Gotta change that. There we go. Double. Yeah, I think this part, the problem with this part, I mean, it's a neat little reference, but it can really go either way, and I think I'm about to win. Yeah. Yeah, not a very effective way for defeating Sonic and his friends. Why do you get through Act 2? Not too bad for a F-tier character. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've streamed this up to this point in Sonic Mania, the original version before. This is just a really cool stage. I like the idea. I'm not sure why an entire city would be a TV studio, but it has that Sonic weirdness that kind of works. It looks very neat, and the song is outstanding as well. It sounds like it would belong in Sonic CD. Like you could pretend the song came from Sonic CD and it would fit here. My friend Michelle Robinson made a remix of the song, and it's very good. And I'm assuming Bradley's talking to Ryan, because that doesn't sound directed at me. Grant says it's like if Fritz Lang's Metropolis was colored by Lisa Frank. I'm not sure what compels you to make those references, but I like it. Oh yeah, I also like how the jumping board is the clapboard. That's funny. Ryan says that he needs to make more videos besides the tutorial stuff. Are you still working on your Nintendo 64 series? Because those were very informative. And I've tried sharing your tutorial videos around as well. Ryan says, what a level. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so the trick with this boss is that you gotta hit the purple or blue missile back at him. Really awful bottlenecking going on, I'm sorry about that. I'm seeing some messages, I'll respond in a moment. That was not what I was trying to do. Is that a successful hit? Oh yeah, looks like it. Again, how do I get a cold bonus? I think I screwed up horribly at parts there. Yeah, really cool transition to Act 2 there. Gonna pause to read stuff. Okay. Blast Boy says, I believe that studio for if our world gets too industrialized to the point where they convert a city to a TV studio, JK. You know, you say that partially jokingly, but I mean, you never know. And Robotnik certainly has pull, because if you read the supporting materials for Sonic 2, in Sonic 2, Robotnik takes over the world. If you actually read the story material for the game, he wins before the game starts, and Sonic and Tails have to undo that. They talk about how he takes over cities and factories. That's what Metropolis Zone and the Casino Zone and Oil Ocean are. The bad guy basically wins, and the hero has to undo it. Is the story of Sonic 2. Grant says, honestly, the buildings remind me of an album cover for Xeon Codex by Hawkwind. Yeah, actually. Good observation. Ryan says that he's behind on videos for the N64 stuff because writing is hard for him. Work with a writing partner. It helps tremendously. Let's see here. Ryan says he doesn't know if he has the best production value, so that he hope the effort shines through. So thanks for the kind words. Yeah, keep it up. Those were really interesting. Even though I kind of knew a lot of that, it was neat how you put everything into perspective. Let's see here. Ryan says the DBZ video was fun. Yeah, Bradley is getting some decent attention for the DBZ video. Some people who comment are not very bright, but I think that he's getting some more general people out there, so that's cool. It definitely is, once again, an unintended sleeper hit. I think because people are just talking a lot about Dragon Ball these days. Today's lottery numbers are 6, Bomb, 3, and 5. That's good. Blast Boy says Sonic 2 equals Sonic Forces. Blast Boy, I don't know what you're talking about. Grant says, wait, so you know Xeon Codex? I know the art you're referring to. Blast Boy says Eggman took over the world in both games. Okay, I haven't played Sonic Forces, nor do I know anything about it. What? 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 What the hell is this? Is this new? I don't know what's going on. That was weird. Oh, I guess that was the bonus stage from the rings. Well, there's a lost Sonic pinball game there. Okay, that was just Sam, Sam just telling me something. Unfortunately, Sam could not make it tonight. We're gonna try and him and Saturn, aka Inverted, on the 12th. Grant says the first Ray Charles song I ever heard was when he sang for the Pennsylvania Lottery Powerball in the 90s. That's cool. I might have known that. I don't know. Sam says, my bad. Hey, you're supposed to be working, you troublemaker. How dare you crash my stream. I hope to see you 2 Sundays from now, Sam. Yeah, as per popular request, actually, we're gonna attempt to do the Super Famicom Yu Yu Hakusho games live with Saturn. That is the strategy. And Ryan says hello to Sam. Yeah, hopefully you're getting a decent connection. And this boss is very silly. Grant is saying that he needs to astral project his voice onto the stream. That's not how it works. Sam says, what's new in this DLC? We can play as Mighty the Armadillo, Ray the Flying Squirrel. The palettes are a little bit different, and I'm not sure what else. I'm hoping there's new levels, because the first stage of Encore was Angel Island, but that ended pretty abruptly. Sam says they really need new stages. I am with you on that 110%. Ryan says, everybody like the stream. Get everybody the channel interaction boosted deserves. I'm inclined to agree with Ryan. Guys, not try. Please press that like button. Grant, it really helps out. It's just, things have been very under the radar with software agents lately. Grant says, I misread DLC as... Last Boy says it would be funny if the weather boss's weather predictions were wrong, but they were not. I don't like this color palette, I'll tell you that much. I think it looks a little... This green does not work here, I like the purple. Well, okay, I can just say here that this level design looks different from the original. That's for sure. Grant says, Sam, have you listened to Thundercat yet? Yes, he has, and yes, I have. And that was very weird. Grant says he's listened to a number of those tracks. Thundercat, Thundercat, yeah! It's actually ho, not yeah. And don't worry, you can say ho in this stream. But only if you're saying it as an exclamation. You can't be saying it in reference to hookers. That's very offensive. As in, Deke, the producers of Captain Planet. Yes, I understood. Crap. Oh, okay. That was a nice save. That was like Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible Fallout now in theaters. I want to see that eventually. I had a pretty good conversation with some of my high school buddies about the Mission Impossible movies lately, actually, and that just made me want to see Fallout more. If you guys don't know, I really love spy fiction, so I'm always excited when there's a good spy or espionage movie coming out. But yeah, Deke also produced Inspector Gadget. Which reminds me, there's a new Inspector Gadget series on Universal Kids. I know this because I can watch TV now. I have cable in my room, and it's just awful. I can't stand it. It's so bad. Let's see. Goku fucking ruined me, gets me every time. Grant, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Blast Boy says, hey, do you think you can play a Master System game on the channel? Blast Boy, the problem is I don't own a Master System. And the only, I could probably do Phantasy Star 1 because that's on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. But that's the only Master System representation I could do. I would love to, but I simply don't own a Master System. One of my buddies, Pat, was actually suggesting that I do some Master System stuff, but somebody's got to pony up. See, yeah, Ryan's got the idea of Phantasy Star. Yeah, Blast Boy, it's a good idea, but I mean, if you want it, you gotta either donate me a game or let me borrow a game, or donate money for the console. I can't. You can't get blood from a turnip, if you've ever heard that expression. It's a good idea, though. And I have mixed thoughts on the original Phantasy Star, because as my friend Kyle put it, the first few hours of Phantasy Star is quote-unquote getting a fucking passport. Which, I mean, it's boring enough doing that in real life. I've actually spent most of this week getting a new passport. It's not very interesting. Although I guess I'd rather do it in Phantasy Star. Let's see. Grant says, speaking of espionage movies, he saw the worst spy movie ever recently. A movie with your dad called Sneakers. I have no response to that. Sam says, My Little Pony is the worst. I have mixed feelings about My Little Pony. The Friendship is Magic series has done good and has also done evil. And that's all I feel really comfortable talking about My Little Pony at the moment. Ryan says, how dare you? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan enjoys watching it with his children, if I'm not mistaken. Blast Boy says, could you play a few Sonic Game Gear games? I could. I have Sonic Gems collection, so it's possible that in the future I could do a Sonic Triple Trouble, which, oh, that hurt. Which I got you Sonic Triple Trouble recently in Blast Boy. Oh, damn, that's game over. I got you Sonic Triple Trouble recently. I hope you're enjoying it. That game's pretty good. Sam says, I mean the creepiness obsessed people. Yeah, the creeping is not, that causes problems. Sam says, it's an okay show. I get, wow. Sam, that's the nicest thing I heard you say all day. Grant says, minus the creep. Okay, so yeah, this is the trade-off with the Encore mode. You only have one life. If you notice, anytime I've gotten over 100 rings, I do not get an extra life. So your lives are Sonic and his friends. Or in this case, Mighty, because I'm playing as Mighty. Oh! So there is an expectation to perform, and that's not good. Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised. I would say that the fad of that show died out, but there must be enough enthusiasm to keep it going, because aren't they on didn't they start a new season? Or I mean, they had a movie last year, so they're obviously the train has some coal in it. There's still some horsepower going on. You see, it's funny because it's my understanding that ponies are not horses. There's some kind of biological difference. I don't know what they are. I'm not a biologist, but I know that Mighty's an armadillo. Okay, guys, I'm gonna give the Sonic Mania, I'm gonna give it one more round before I move on to Mega Man X Legacy Collection. Just the FYI. Here's the trade-off. I will either do this zone, and then we'll move on to Mega Man Legacy, Mega Man X Legacy Collection too. Would you guys be interested? I was thinking of doing X5, but I might do X6 or X8 if there's demand for it. I really don't want to play X7. I'd most be in the mode for X5, but if you guys want X6 or X8, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But just a heads up, I'm not very good at Mega Man X8. Let's see, there's some poster. Ryan says, Season 8 is going on? They're on Season 8? Wow. Last Boy says, Labyrinth Zone in 8-bit Sonic 1 is great. It's different from the Genesis version. It's also very intense. I always thought that the Labyrinth Zone in the original Sonic 1 was pretty rough. So that's an interesting challenge. Ryan says X6, ew. Grant says X7. It sounds like I'm being challenged there. Yeah, Ryan, here's the thing about X6 with me. It's not very good, but I'm used to it. Grant says X7 is the first Mega Man game I ever had, and I beat it 1 billion times. That is a case of ignorance being bliss. As some of you might know, Ryan definitely knows that X7 is a very infamously reviled game in the series. The fact that you're probably better than me is boggling. It boggles the mind. Because I played it again recently. It was donated to me sometime last year. I think it was by Dan from Japan, or it might have been Boney. I don't remember who. But in any case, I really had a hard time getting back into it. Grant says, only later did I learn that it was as painful as an enema. How is an enema painful? It's supposed to be cleansing. I'm gonna regret saying that. Last Boy says, I heard Mega Man in Base is one of the most challenging games in the series. Blast Boy, I guess the thing is, Sonic must be your thing. Mega Man is definitely my thing. I love Mega Man. Bye, Sam. See you later. Mega Man in Base is definitely one of my least favorite games in the series. I'll say one thing, it is very challenging. It's entirely possible that if there's demand for it, I might stream that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I would be doing the Super Famicom version because I do not like the Game Boy Advance version at all. Ryan says, what I have to say about X6 is like saying cutting off a finger isn't good and used to, but you're used to cutting it off. I wouldn't go that far. I would rather play Mega Man X6 than cut off my finger. Ryan says, Mega Man in Base is tough, not sure if I'm convinced it's 100% fair. You know, if you would count it in the Classic series, it's definitely my least favorite game in the Classic series. And that comes from the school of jerk-off level design, where the game murders you, rather than me thinking that it's quote-unquote fair. And that's my major criticism with it. Grant says, never beat Mega Man in Base, but got to second or third Wily stage. Brave on you. I know some other people who've given up. I had to beat it because, you know, I'm obsessive like that. But I've never felt compelled to replay it. I'd do it for you guys. I would do it for you guys. I'm like Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons says, I'll do anything to be the center of attention. It's a good philosophy. Last Boy says, have you ever played Mega Man 2 on Game Boy? A long time ago. It's not great. It's probably, at least from my recollection, the worst of them, of the Game Boy ones. is I really liked Mega Man on Game Boy 5. I have that on my 3DS Virtual Console. Unfortunately, Mega Man 4 and 5 on Game Boy, those are very hard to find these days. They're basically collector's items. Ryan says, Mega Man on Game Boy is hard. Yeah, they don't hold up as much as when I was younger, because, at least from what I perceive, they seem to have slowdown. Some major issues with slowdown. Oh no, I hope that's not the enemy. Okay, we're still going, we're still going, we're still going, no, okay. All these heights are giving me vertigo, man. Just, the illusion of being this high up, it definitely, it's like being on an airplane and, when you lose balance when the altitude ascends. I'm gonna be on an airplane soon. Last Boy says they're called the Wily Wars. Wily Wars was the first one on Game Boy. In Japan, Mega Man on Game Boy, they're called Rockman World. Which, to me, I find it easier to call them that than Mega Man on Game Boy. Just too many syllables. Ryan says, Mega Man on Genesis was a download-only thing. You can get repro carts of it now, though. Yes. Oh, wait, no. I'm getting things mixed up. The first Mega Man on Game Boy is called Dr. Wily's Revenge. Wily Wars is a Genesis remake. Crap. Is a Genesis remake of Mega Man's 1, 2, and 3. And that's probably... No, it's not the enemy. They're very slow. I remember this being pretty different from the original version. Yeah, Ryan's correcting me. Yeah, the Wily Wars is on Genesis, and that is the Genesis remakes of Mega Man's 1, 2, and 3. They're alright, they just, the pace is not very good. I would say, honestly, stick to Rockman Complete Works or the Legacy Collections if you want to play those games. I couldn't recommend Wily Wars on a general level. Hey, wait, Ryan, I'm glad you're here. I would assume you would be busy with your streams tonight. Oh, that's game over. Yeah, well, we're at an hour. I will stop with Sonic Mania here. If you guys give me a break for a few minutes, I will return with Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2. And I mean, I guess I'll let you vote. I was leaning more towards X5, but if you want me to do X6 or X8, I'll certainly try. Just don't ask me to do X7. I am not drunk enough to muster up the courage to do that. Last Boy says there was a cartridge-only version on Mega Drive. It's my understanding that Wily Wars was a download-only title on Genesis. I think it was released in Japan and in Europe, but not in the US. Ryan's on a family vacation, no streams. Okay. Guys, I'm going to take a 5-minute recess to recharge from all this talking. But I will be back with Mega Man for the second hour. So just talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, can everybody hear me okay?
Forsaking cable. Is everybody hearing me okay? Yeah, everybody's hearing me okay. Okay. That was a short 5 minutes, was it? Okay. All right. So yeah, what I glanced looks like the consensus is X5. Okay, I'm not sure if I've done X5 in stream, but we'll start a new file. I've had this for about a week. I didn't get to play it till yesterday because I've been so gosh darn busy. But X5, this game is a bit of a quagmire for me. I don't think it was as good as X1, 2, 3, and 4. It's almost good, but there's a lot of things that weigh it down, particularly in the pacing and level design department. I probably, I mean, it is not going to feel as tight as Sonic Mania. This game, I think, came out about 3 years after X4, and there seems to be a gap. It feels like Capcom was trying to push this out. I'm not sure how much the interest was there. It certainly, I don't remember at the time being a game that people were talking about. I want to say that X4 was at least moderately popular, but just from my memory, X5 and X6 were definitely like CD list titles. And unless you were on top of these games, these were not bestsellers or anything. So X5, I'm not sure who developed this. I think they're called Cool Wave, if I'm not mistaken. But this is not the same team that did X4. Even though the sprites are similar, a lot of the effects are similar, the engine of the game is actually different from X4. Looks like I got some comments here. Westboy says, wasn't there X game on Saturn? Yeah, X Mega Man 8 were on Saturn. So let me just make sure that my controls are in order. So a hurdle with this game is that there's a lot of text, and it feels gratuitous. They really try to hit you over the head with the plot, and it really doesn't matter. For this Legacy Collection version, the boss names are all changed due to avoid any litigation from Guns and... Original English version, due to some interference from Allison Court, of all people, the lady who played Jubilee in the 90s X-Men cartoon, she had some pull at Capcom, apparently. She requested they change the names of the bosses for the English versions. That was changed for this version, this release, because Axl Rose loves to sue people. Okay, you want me to be X or Zero? Make a choice, guys. Ryan says... Still, I mean, maybe, but I find his involvement in the series to be largely exaggerated. Ryan says, F. Duff McWellen. I'm assuming you mean fuck Duff McWellen? I like that name. I think it's funny. It's stupid, but it's funny. But I don't like calling the flower guy Axel the Rose, because it gets too confusing, because there's another character called Axel. Okay, guys, you want me to play as X or Zero in the first stage? Ryan says press F to pay respects. X. Anybody leaning towards 0, or should I just be X? The 4th armor is more important than the Z Buster. Ugh. That is just one of the weird arcane things about this game. If I don't play as X in the intro stage, then X does not get the 4th armor. That does not carry over throughout the rest of the game. It's pretty important. And if you play as 0, 0 gets the Z Buster, which is surprisingly lame. Yeah, we'll go do X, because nobody's responding. It's annoying. So yeah, the plot of this game is Sigma is a computer virus, which maybe makes sense in the form of Wi-Fi, and he convinces this guy Dynamo to drop a space colony on Earth, and X and 0 have to stop it, and despite their efforts, they fail. And just somehow, in spite of that shadow, I can't help but know who that is. And I'm probably gonna just blast through this because there's a lot of, as I mentioned, there's a lot of text in this game. And what's kind of a bane is the character Aelia, who's introduced in this game, the Mega Man's blonde navigator sidekick. And she's like an updated version. I mean, updated. This game came out 18 years ago. She's like an updated version of one of those little fairies who's in a video game who's supposed to guide you all the way. And she never stops yakking. Like right here. I'm really just gonna her dialogue, because this is part of the pacing issues of the game. You cannot skip her text, and it comes up at the worst times. If there was a way to not have her prompts and just have them be optional or be less intrusive, it would make this game a lot better. But yeah, I don't want to be entirely negative. You start off with a damaged version of the armor from Mega Man X4, which has this shot that leaves. If I can do the residual thing there, that little ball there, yeah, that's the residual damage. And there's the Aelia blabbing, and this can also oh, I thought I had the controls changed. You can also air dash in the opening of the stage, which is pretty nice. I thought I had the controls changed. I mean, there we go. That works for me. And you can either air dash or do this little hover. So yeah, early on, X starts off pretty well equipped. And this is also, to my knowledge, the first Mega Man game where you can duck, as you can see here. So you can see early on that the game designers are trying to do some things different. We'll all see another game. Oh yeah, another odd thing. This is, to my knowledge anyway, the first Mega Man game where shots don't go through walls. If this was an earlier Mega Man game, this shot will be going through the wall here. And you can see that it dissipates when it touches the wall. And there's going to be a really egregious text prompt from Aelia coming up here. So the walls are going to collapse, and then, you know, it screws up my timing when you're talking about that. And I'm sure one of this collapses does, like, 3/4 your health, like, right there. That's it always screws me up. This one here is pretty bad, too. This introduces the rope. I don't know how popular this rope mechanic is, but there's ropes in this game and in X6. So now I'm being informed that Sigma is nearby, and this is letting you do the wall kick mechanic. And again, if I don't think you can really get away making a game like this anymore unless you didn't have the budget for a voice cast. But if this was a modern game, I get the need to kind of feel the way to describe things to people. I would rather prefer a intuitive design. But if this was a modern game, there would be a voice actor explaining things to you. I just think here's an example of how text can be very archaic. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, here's the first boss. Ryan says, the first time ducking is actually mandatory. Making fun of me with your winky face. And I love how Zero just teleport away from the place. Or maybe it's just the spray loading. Anyway, where is Sigma? The apparent excuse is because Zero got damaged here. He can't use his V-Buster for the rest of the game. Hee, stupid Maverick Hunters. You will all feel the true Maverick power right before you die. You maniacs, you lit up. Yes, great Planet of the Apes reference. I love it. This is not good. I just hugged the wall. Ooh. I still think I can take a few more hits. Yeah, Zero's arm is on the ground there. I don't think I realized that till now, and I've been playing this game for at least 17 years. Grant says, I'm fighting an evil Pez dispenser. That's giving Sigma too much credit. So as we learned here, much like the Joker in the Dark Knight, Sigma wanted to be defeated. Yes, I just compared Mega Man X5 to the Dark Knight. Darn, that blast released the... Whoa, Zero. Watch the salty language. The Sigma virus. So this... this spreads the computer virus all over the Earth, and things are going to go really nutty. And at the same time, Sigma's trying to drop a space colony like it's a Gundam show. Ryan asked me if I'm going for the achievements, if I knew what they were. So now we have to get parts for some kind of laser cannon to prevent the colony drop, as it were. And I swear to God, this is like a Vegas crapshoot, this portion of the game, because I just don't think this thing ever fires. This is just so convoluted. Ryan says they could never decide if they wanted to use damn it in Mega Man. Yeah, they say damn it in X4, and they say it in the revised script of Mega Man X1. So it's really odd. And yeah, all the bosses here, older English versions of the game, they have localized versions of their Japanese names instead of the original English versions. Ryan says X originally says damn after the first vile encounter. That's only in the X collection. They revised the script. That's only in the original X collection, the one that was on GameCube and PS2. So, I am going to start off... I don't really remember the pattern of this game very well. Usually I do Volt Kraken the last. Then it got removed? Oh, you're saying that... You're saying that it was actually removed in the original... Oh, wow. Okay, because my... I'm pretty sure the first time I played X1, or at least from what my memory, it was probably the Majesco version. So that would have to be 97 or 96. Well, no, I've played it before 97, but I have better memories of the Majesco release. Anyway, okay, I don't really remember the boss pattern for this game, but my gut is telling me Firefly, Bat, Grizzly, Dinosaur, Whale, Flower Guy, Pegasus, and Volt Kraken, or whatever the hell he's called. I always do the Electric Squid last. Alright, we'll start off with the Firefly stage. In the original English release, he's called Izzy Glow. Here, he is Shining Firefly, which that name just doesn't cool, but not very threatening. Ryan says the fun fact: the X collection on GameCube doesn't say damn, but the PS2 version does. I don't know if I agree with that. I own both. I'll have to verify that. Because I actually got the GameCube one the day it came out, but I got the PS2 one many years later. By the way, if he's listening to this, the only reason why I own this collection, by the way, is because the money for it was donated by Dan from Japan. So thank you, Dan. I would not have bought this collection because I own all these games. Alright, says go check it out. It's funny. I'll have to remember that. I don't have all my consoles set up. At the moment, the only consoles I have set up are my Wii, my Super Nintendo Classic, and Xbox One. I moved about a month ago. I'm still unpacking. These spikes actually don't kill you, they take like half your health. The ones from the ceiling. Now, the Ripley guy I'm about to save, when you touch him, he gives you an extra life. And these guys will be a nuisance in X6. Or maybe a help. In X6, once they die, they're gone forever. Ryan says, GameCube version uses more filtering, so unfortunately it's blurrier than PS2. That might explain why I have a lot of issues recording off the GameCube version of the X Collection, and why normally I just stick with the originals. I mean, unfortunately, this collection does make X Collection kind of obsolete. From what I've seen, I think these are just better remasters. I mean, for instance, that really dumb issue with the audio levels in X2 being wrong is gone. But at the same time, X Collection did give us Mega Man Battle and Chase, so I'm a little torn. I think that game's neat. Not a favorite, but I think it's neat. Not too bad from our Mario Kart clone. Hey, top 10 Mario Kart clones. Both versions run in 240p, too, which is interesting. I'm assuming that's sarcastic. But isn't that the original picture format of X1, 2, and 3? Or am I incorrect on that? Ryan says, I like these versions just fine personally. You mean Legacy Collection or Original X Collection or Legacy Collection? Riley says, I gotten that suggestion before. Yeah, the problem is, I mean, we'd have to think of a few. So Mario Kart clones, I mean, Sonic Racing Transformed, Crash Bandicoot Racing, Mega Man Battle and Chase, Konami Crazy Racers. I don't know if there's a full 10 there. Here's a hint. I own those games. Ryan says Legacy Collection. Yeah, see, just, this is a really, really dumb dialogue prompt here. Dr. Firefly's room is above you. You know, it's gonna be weird seeing that, because that's just not in any version of this game I've seen before. There's a few text edits for sure. I've tried every game in X1 and X2 Legacy Collection. I haven't tried X6 or X7. I wonder if they've changed any of the... I highly doubt it. But I wonder if they've changed any of the really bad dialogue in X6. X7's kind of dead on arrival. Okay, so yeah, first boss is coming up. This is a battle theme. I don't know if people like it. I do. I think it's cool and weird. It's very unconventional. And me and some of the other members of the Potato Wedges did a remix of it a while back. I don't think it's great. As a few people point out, Tony Ballin, our editor, has pointed out, the timing for this song is really odd. But in any case, I think it's a cool boss battle theme. If you haven't heard, and we'll see the lame excuses the bosses have for fighting. Because if I'm not mistaken, even though Sigma is orchestrating this plot, I don't think these guys are Sigma's minions. They're just uncooperative bastards. How dare you bust up my lab? This laboratory is something about the virus we need to enter. Few hunters always do that. My work is not for maverick hunters. I never trusted your approach. Therefore, with you. Doctor, listen, I really don't have a hard time to argue with you. Can you just cooperate with us? No. Okay, well, I mean, now we have to put him down. By the way, this is how the conversations with all the Mavericks go. It really is just X saying, can you just please come quietly? And then the person very defiantly says, I'll take honor over reason. Now, something to note about the boss in this game, I feel like I'm really interrupting the flow. Over time, the other bosses in the main menu select, they're actually going to quote-unquote level up, which means that their HP is going to get higher off-screen. I didn't get into one very convoluted part of this. I'll get to it when we get back to the title screen. I did just kind of jump into this stage. Yeah, Ryan says fix the bad translation in X6 and you might make it acceptable. That's tough but fair. Grant says that there's Nickelodeon and Land Before Time racers too. Are you pulling my leg about the Land Before Time one? Because I've never heard about that. Although, yeah, there's Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network racers. 6 degrees of separation for Cartoon Network. It's in effect. Guys, you could have been watching Cartoon Network right now, but you decided to watch this stream. That's cool. This is getting close. Yeah, oh well. However, this is not impossible. By the way, that little normal gauge there, if you haven't played this game, the little Sigma virus ghost themabobs that are in the stages, if they touch you, X gradually gets infected, which means you take damage over time. So you don't want to touch those. They actually make Zero more powerful. Hey, hopefully you can hear me okay. Hey guys, your brother, he's a pretty cool guy, alright? Alright, let's... Okay, so it's Land Before Time on PlayStation 1. I gotta say, I'm intrigued. I don't know how I never didn't know about this. Never didn't know about this. That's a double negative. How did I not know about this? Is what I'm trying to say. And you're down. Ryan says, "Don't be. It sucks." So you're telling me there was a Land Before Time kart racing game? I'm astonished. I didn't even know there were Land Before Time video games. Truth be told. Yeah, Land Before Time. That series, not a kart racer, just racing. But is it a Mario Kart ripoff? Or at least a Mario Kart clone? That seems to be the implication. So, I mean, we broke into his house and we stole his shit. That's what you call a preemptive attack. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this Land Before Time racer. I get a threat from Dynamo. This is a cool song. My friends and myself have covered this as well. But Max Arita and Michelle Marcel were on guitars because I don't know how to play a guitar. Let's see, how do I do next? Yeah, I think it's the bat. Who's next? Okay, I was if you didn't tell by my save files, I was playing this yesterday to practice for the stream. I don't remember the PlayStation 1 version of this game terribly well, but I don't seem to remember there being as much slowdown in the bat stage in the planetarium. Is that in the PS1 version, or did they fix that in the X collections? Because it feels a little bit slow here. Anyway, in Japan, this guy is called Dark Necrobat. In the US, he was called Dark Dizzy originally. I like the name. I mean, I like both names, but Dark Necrobat probably sounds cool. Reminds me of Dark Necrofear from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, tons of slowdown. But in truth, it's also a space laboratory. Space laboratory, planetarium, same thing. but the facility is very different from what it used to be. You can't find the device from the... No, whatever. Oh, wait, I didn't explain the really convoluted progression mechanic in this game. You know, it'll wait. It'll wait till I'm done with this stage. Because she says that I need to do as I please. Every time I enter a level, an hour in game time goes by, and there's 16 hours before the object crashes into the Earth. The catastrophe that X and Zero are trying to prevent. So there's really no doing as you pleasing. This is a very critical situation. And our supporting protagonists don't care. Okay, so the bat son of a bitches who appear in the stage, they're going to try to drop the instant kill spikes. And then I'm also battling slowdown. So this is just a part where the game is not very generous. Uh-oh, okay. Watch out, watch out. Grant's gotta sleep. You have to sleep. So, you know, just take care. Rest up. Ryan says, the thing with the Legacy collections, both OG and X, is that they want to be authentic to... Yeah, all the warts are there, unfortunately. Just, you know, the conundrum with the NES Mega Man games for me is that they have a lot of slowdown, and I like that Rockman Complete Works fix that. It's a double-edged sword. Watch out for the Trek. Must be the Maverick virus. Oh, man. Well, that was uncanny timing right there. Except for the Switch version that had selectable CPU speed for Mega Man Legacy. One interesting. So, what you're saying is that you can change the slowdown in the Switch version. Might that make it better? Xbox One and PS4 versions. I mean, I really don't feel compelled to buy that game again. I have it on Xbox One and Steam. I'm good. I'm curious though. Oh, give me a break. I like how this song is kind of dark and mysterious. You got the bells going, but but then you have like a symphonic guitar rock opera going on. It's nice. I really like the music in this game. Ryan says you can turn down the slowdown. Yay! The problem is it introduced input lag. Boo. So basically you can't win. So I should just stick with Rockman Complete Works. Darn the luck. Yeah, I'm 100% positive that there is no slowdown in the X Collection version. You gotta be kidding me. In the X Collection version of the stage. Because this just felt slow. Ryan says basically. There has to be a way to afford Rockman Complete Works 6 without resorting to crime. Cause that's what? What the hell? What the? Well, let me see the play. I don't even understand what happened there. It was the spike. Yeah, that's why I don't have any shame in calling the bats sons of bitches. That's what they are. Ryan said X Collection didn't have slowdown in any title. Yeah. Yeah, X Collection has some issues. It was mostly good for the time, but it was cool that they fixed the slowdown in X1 and X2 especially. Because I mean, I love the original game. Obviously, maybe you got that hint if you've known me for a few years by now. There's a few slowdown issues pretty prominent in Launch Octopus's stage. And then in that's stupid. In X2, X2 is a really good game, but the slowdown ruins that final boss battle with Sigma. It makes it really tedious. Ryan says it comes down to hacky emulation. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about X Collection or X Legacy Collection? Elaborate. I find this stuff fascinating. I just a little elaboration would be appreciated. Okay, I'm making progress. There's another time duck is useful. By the way, this is most of this level. And there we go. Beautiful. If I don't get it there, you miss it. So you have to wake up. You can play the rest of the game asleep, but you gotta wake up. Because, I mean, I don't know the specifics, but X Collection, one thing they had trouble with was, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm mistaken, please feel free to correct me. To emulate the transparency and wireframe effects that are in X2, for some reason the sound output took a hit. But the frame rate is much more stable than the Super NES / Super Famicom versions. So there's your trade-off. Gonna have to take the hit. No! Oh. I have unlimited continuous. When you have unlimited continuous, death is not... It's a minor inconvenience. A mild inconvenience. Not a minor one, but a mild one. Like mild salsa. And I'm pretty sure these effects are stolen from Cyber Peacock stage in Mega Man X4. Got a heart tank. Yeah, Ryan, if you're still there, I'd like to know if you could elaborate what you meant by, it all comes down to hacky emulation and what game you're referring to. Hang on, somebody just... Ryan says, I can't remember X2 having audio issues personally. The sound output is lower in X2 on the X Collection. And... it can't handle too many multiple sounds without one eating another one. That is an issue in the X Collection. I don't remember if that was the case in the PS2 version. I'd have to double check, but that was especially the case in the GameCube version. And I noticed it pretty early on, and I was kind of annoyed. I would like to show it, but I've been having issues recording or streaming original X Collection. Squeak, I've been waiting for... Hey, listen, man, can you just come along quietly? Who cares? See, you see, they're just rebels without a cause. They're mavericks in every sense of the word. And I believe his weakness is the Firefly, which is why I got it in the first place. I don't even know if he took that hit or not. And we're done here. Ryan says, when you have hacky emulation, it can make games run faster since they don't take all of a system's features / shortcomings. Okay, so by hacky emulation, you mean that a ROM has been hacked in a localized emulator. I thought by hacky you meant like crappy or of poor quality. I wasn't sure. People who made it were hacks. I wasn't sure what you meant. So it's I mean it's a customized ROM running in in a dedicated emulator is what you're getting at, if I'm not mistaken. Dark Necrobet had an unusual past. Sigma created him as a maverick. Oh, so he was always in a... He was always a Sigma sleeper agent. Oh, you did mean crappy emulation. It is technically a bad emulator. Alright, so now we gotta fight Dynamo, and I'm gonna do it at 0. Okay, so if you haven't played this game before, oops. What happens is, so after the introduction, the level select screen, which is this screen, and every time you enter a stage, an hour goes by. There's 16 hours. An hour goes by in game time. If you leave a stage, whether you beat it or not, you lose that hour. If you don't beat all the stages by all the time when the countdown goes down, the colony or whatever crashes into the planet, which doesn't end the game. It actually just takes you to the later stages pretty early on. Where when you run out of game time you die, or like Zelda Majora's Mask, where if you run out of game time you die. It's a very odd shortcut to the later stages in the game. It's one of the things that makes this game unique. Anyway, we're gonna fight Dynamo with 0. So Ryan says it's technically a bad emulator. Emulation designed to give a preferable result. As opposed to the ideal being attempting to flawlessly recreate the software functions and effects and all that fun stuff. I just wish there were more software and development-oriented people making video games. Obviously, you know, not every glitch and issue can be resolved, but I feel like major publishers don't care. Especially Activision and EA. They don't care about anything except making money. But don't worry, Capcom cares a lot. Don't hate me for that. Capcom is one of my favorite game companies, even though they... Well, I mean, I like the games. I don't like their business practices. So yeah, we're gonna fight Tim now. that's all there was to it. Although, frankly, I think I could have done a little bit better. When I play a Zero, I just tend to take a lot of hits. I mean, I guess that's, you should be expected during close combat. By the way, if anybody has been aware of any of my computer concerns, my new laptop battery came today. So hopefully... He says adios, amigo. I find that very egregious. Was he Hispanic? Or is that just cultural appropriation? Basically emulate every Super Nintendo game on an old Pentium 2, right? But to emulate Super NES 100% accurately takes a third generation i5 over 3.5 gigahertz. Bradley, oh, you're still here, Bradley. I feel like people are leaving. That makes me sad. Yeah, please share the stream and Patreon links around. I would very greatly appreciate it. Some of Zero parts were introduced in Ecuador. Hey, that's where Mike Judge was born. Okay, what am I gonna do next? I guess I'll do Grizzly Slash or whatever the hell they changed his name to. But yeah, my laptop battery came. I'll probably buy a screwdriver, and I hopefully I can get that fixed sometime this weekend. So unfortunately, I work like a mule on Fridays and Saturdays. And at the very least, I will have a means to back up all my trading, because I'm actually in the... I'm working with my editors on about 2 or 3 other projects. Tony Bellin is doing the majority of the editing for the Space Invaders video, and I'm gonna do the final cut with Michelle. And it's just it's frustrating when your computer's giving you a warning sign that it may not function anymore, and I'm not in a position where I can run to the store and buy another one. I moved recently, and that burned up a lot of my cash. Anyway, Ryan says N64 is even worse since it has no good emulators. Yeah, they never seem to get N64 emulation right. Not even Nintendo. There's a guy on YouTube where he was making Wii Virtual Console comparisons to the original versions. And he was demonstrating that on Wii Virtual Console, compared to the original version of Star Fox 64, for instance, they can't get all the little nuances in the stick of the N64 and on the GameCube correctly. It just does not 100% match up. Ryan's giving us a computer lecture here. Ryan says most computers at 800 megahertz could play a ton of games. My i7 770K at 4.8 gigahertz can't run Mario 64 at a consistent full speed with all the low-level stuff. So why is that? Why is that still a tough nut to crack? Ryan says Wii Virtual Console 733 megahertz processor. Amazed they hacked up any to work on the Wii. Well, if I'm accuracy requires power. That is true. That sounds like a bumper sticker slogan. I like that. That sounds cool. Or like a company's money back guarantee. Accuracy requires power. If you're not 100% satisfied, we'll refund your Nintendo Wii. I was kidding. Nintendo would never do that. I mean, okay. So the truck is gonna blow up, and then just let me escape. It's ridiculous. Bradley, if you're still there, do you have any experiences with this game? I don't know what your what your times in the Mega Man. Oh crap! I forgot the sub tank. Yeah, Bradley, I'm curious if you have any experiences with X5 or Mega Man X in general, or Mega Man in general. So here's a really obnoxious capsule part. You ready? It's gonna be me blow up this jerk first. Yeah. And I think the margin of error there seems slim to me. Wish I could understand the code more, but I understand what it does for the most part. So there, Dr. Light says that he has a new armor for X, but it's so secure that he has to divide it into 4 parts, and it's not going to work unless all 4 parts are together. And I believe that's a piece for the Falcon armor, if I'm not mistaken. Which is very useful. Extremely useful. Definitely, if you're playing this game, try and get the Falcon armor. I remember it, I haven't tried to do a run of this game in a while. I remember it being a bit of a hassle, some of those pieces. Ryan's gonna be right back. Bradley says, I haven't played much Mega Man. All my Mega Man come through crossovers, lol. Well, hopefully we can resolve that in a few weeks. Hint, hint. Okay, so. Yeah, and as you can see here, underneath Crescent Grizzly, underneath his life bar, it says level 7. His health went up off screen. If he was the first boss I fought, his health would have been smaller. Some of these sound effects remind me of Gundam. He blew up off screen. Okay, guys, just a heads up, 10 more minutes of this. I would like to play more X Legacy Collection on Sunday. So we're going to try and tackle another level. Probably Sunday night. I think this has been a pretty good stream so far, honestly. I've had a lot of fun, aside from that, the thing that always seems to happen. So, who's next? I either do Duff McWillan, Ryan's favorite boss, or Matt Shrek's next. I really don't remember the boss order for this game. Hang on, hang on, hang on. I'm gonna. Okay, sorry about that. It was just spam. When I was doing my practice run, I was actually struggling a little bit in Burn Dino Rex's stage, so I'll do Tidal Whale, or, well, in Japan he's called Tidal McKeon, and the original English version of this game he's called Duff McWhalen, which, I mean, it's such a dumb name, but I love it. That, of course, is a reference to Duff McKagan, bassist of Guns N' Roses. And here he's just called Tidal Whale, which I find that name to be very plain. And the music in the stage is a remix of Bubble Crab's theme from Mega Man X2. We'll spend most of the stage fighting this battleship. Wow, it looks like the giant ship U-555 is coming right at you. I don't believe it. It belonged to a marine museum. What an incredible influence the Sigma virus has. But so be it. To secure the sea, we have no we have to kill it, basically. And those eagle-eyed Mega Man X fans will notice that those fish enemies are from Mega Man X1 in Launch Octopus's stage. Launch Octopi's stage. I'm just kidding, there's only one of him. Oh, that guy's dead. Oh. Gonna make an omelet, you gotta break a few legs. I mean eggs, not legs. Oh. I forgot about that. That felt like a cheap shot. Oh yeah, we fight him here. The name of the battleship reminds me a lot of that submarine movie directed by Jonathan Mastow. I mean, I never saw it. But it's like U-5731 or something. We don't really seem to have submarine movies anymore. I feel like that's a discredited genre. When I was in Britain, one night before the end of broadcast, because get this, in Britain, there's a time where TV goes off. In Britain, one night, I think I was up until midnight watching TV because I mean, I walked so much there. I did not sleep very much at all, which is not good for your health. No wonder I got kind of sick. Anyways, very late at night they were playing a submarine movie, and I wish I knew what it was because the special effects were so bad. It was in black and white, and I mean, it looked like somebody filmed it in their fish tank. The subs. Some British submarine movie. I can't remember it for the life of me. I don't even know who the actors were in it. I think it's safe to say it was a B film. You know, I wasn't trying to do that. Yeah, I'm good. Bradley says, we had Battleship as the most recent one, I think. I forgot about it, and so did most of the world, because that movie's considered to be terrible. So I guess there's a reason why that's not a genre anymore, a subgenre. I mean, we think of ones that are acclaimed. I mean, the obvious one is Hunt for Red October, and I haven't seen that in a long time. I would actually like to see that again because I remember that as a kid, it honestly really bored me. But now that I'm older, I mean, because the movie is about political intrigue, that shit is fascinating to me. Wouldn't mind seeing that. Subgenre? Pun? I mean, it wasn't intended, but, I'll take a pun. No, if I intended the pun, the subgenre, I would have done it all douchey like that. I guess you could say it was a subgenre. Because anytime you make a pun, you have to emphasize it. This is not good. Wow. That was a really bad showing. Do I have any sub-tanks? Oh yeah, I have a full one. A sub-tank? Okay. Now on a random note, I think X's sprite looks very cool in this game. Although I'm pretty sure it's just a slightly touched up from X4, the Force Armor model. Yeah, I might just have to use my sub tank against the sub boss. Lots of subs going on here, because this is really would like to beat Duff McWhalen, or whatever he's called. Pedal Whale, same thing. Okay, I didn't do it. Okay, I could see that for the Duff McWillen, or Title Will, whatever you want to call him. I remember this guy being really tricky. Really tricky dicky. There's somewhere here that I think I missed. I don't think I can get to it because I used up all my Firefly ammo. And I'm not referring to the TV show. There we go. Sorry about the loss of stream. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to try and get up to the boss. Win or lose, that will be it. This is going on a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's I think it's all good. Having fun, hopefully the two people left are. Wow, now it's dropped to 1. Wow. Ooh, extra life, extra life. There we go. Yeah, here we can see how that residual damage blaster is very useful. And you gotta love how the sub just endlessly regenerates all these resources. There we go. Now it's finally down. My odds against, I mean, I'll call him Tidal Whale. It almost sounds like a pun. Tidal Wave, Tidal Whale, except not really. Luckily, in the PlayStation X games, your weapons refill after you lose a life. Oh, man. Hey, how about you just come clean? And then he's gonna say no. Do you intend it for nuclear fusion, so you're gonna use the good old Enigma? Like, yeah. Yeah, can you just cooperate with us? X, I'm a man of the sea. You can't the sea. And this is his weakness, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's really gonna try to go for the kill. Yeah, it's not gonna let him try and get those ice block. The ice blocks that push you into the spikes and you die instantly. It's his strategy. Yeah, well, I mean, it seemed like a hollow victory, but I won in any case. Okay, I had a lot of fun. This is gonna be it for tonight's stream. Thanks for showing up. I would appreciate it if you share things around. Next video review, I honestly don't know. Just know that I'm working on it at a slow pace. I hope that things out, but just don't ask. Next streams are gonna be on the 5th and on the 12th. After that, I have no idea. Well, yeah, good to see you guys here. Keep your calendars marked for the 5th and the 12th. Yeah, the 5th and the 12th we'll do more X Legacy Collection. The 5th we'll do more X Legacy Collection. And then the 12th, Yu Yu Hakusho. And possibly some Super Game Boy stuff as well.